Let us start our discussion with the balance sheet. Balance sheet has two sides. On the one side, you will see the sources of funds, and on the other side, you will see application of funds. The sources of funds side of the balance sheet contain three broad sections: shareholders fund, non-current liabilities and current liabilities. Shareholders fund refers to owner's equity or profit retained. Non-current liabilities are related to loans and other liabilities payable after 1 year. Current liabilities are amount payable to suppliers of goods or services, short-term borrowings and all liabilities payable within 1 year. Let us discuss more on shareholders fund. This section of a balance sheet consists of share capital and reserves and surplus. Under share capital, you will see several items. The first item is called authorized share capital. If you are starting a company, you need to follow a process outlined under the Companies Act or corporate law of the country to register a company. Memorandum of Association is a document which consists of several details about the company and submitted to the Register of Company along with the registration fee. The document consists of several clauses in which you need to mention the name of the company, location of the company, business that company is going to carry out and many other things. One of the details of Memorandum of Association is capital that you intend to raise. The number of shares and value that you entered here is called authorized capital. When your company gets registered, the Register of Companies called ROC authorizes you to issue share capital up to this value. Since the registration fee depends on the authorized capital, you will place a value that is required for you in next 3 or 5 years. Once your business has grown up and you need more capital, you can increase this value by placing a request with ROC. You will not normally issue the entire authorized capital. The issued capital represents the share capital that you have issued. For example, if your authorized capital is 200 million and you need only 60 million immediately, you can issue 6 million shares at 10 rupee per share. Suppose your project will take longer time to complete and you need funds in a phased manner to execute the project. You can issue only 6 million shares of 10 each, but you can call only 4 rupee per share. Here called up share capital is 24 million, that is 6 million shares at 4 rupee per share. Paid up share capital refers to actual amount you have collected. The paid up value is lower than called up if few shareholders are not paid the amount when they are called up to pay the amount. You may ask, what will happen? There is a separate legal and accounting process to handle such situation. You have observed the word limited or LTD at the end of every company name, like Infosys Limited, Tata Motors Limited. The term limited has a relationship with the share capital. If you purchase a share of 10 rupee each and the company called only 6 rupee, your liability is limited to 4 rupee, that is unpaid amount. If the company after collecting 6 rupee failed and have to pay a huge amount to the bank and other creditors, then the lenders can ask you to pay 4 rupee. You are liable to pay this amount. Your liability is limited to unpaid amount of the share capital. If you have paid full 10 rupee, you are not liable for anything if the company fails in its business. Limited here means the liability of the shareholder is limited to unpaid amount of a share capital. Share capital is of two types: ordinary equity share capital and preference share capital. Preference share capital owners get a fixed dividend like a debt holders, but they cannot demand the dividend if the company is not doing well. They get preference over equity holders on all matters. Equity holders can be rewarded only after paying the dues to the preference shareholders. Preference share capital is not popular at this point of time in India. You might have read companies issuing bonus shares. Bonus shares means issuing additional shares to the existing shareholder without collecting money. If a company is doing well, its stock prices increases. For example, MRF stock price is about 50,000 in November 2016. After seeing a fascinating advertisement, if he decides to buy 100 MRF stocks, you need to invest 50 lakh rupees. It affects the liquidity of the stocks. Suppose you are holding one share of MRF and the company issues a bonus share of 1:1. You will get one share free of cost. There is no change in the value of business due to bonus shares. The stock price will now be around 25,000. Your wealth earlier is a 50,000. It continues to be 50,000 now. The only difference is, instead of one share of 50,000, you have two shares of 25,000 each now. Companies like Asian Paints issued bonus shares periodically. During last 2 decades, Asian Paint issues 6 bonus shares. Suppose you had 500 shares in 1985 and you have invested 15,000 rupees in Asian Paints. You would be holding today 9,200 shares as on March 2015, and your wealth now is nearly 740 lakhs. Reading the financial statement like Asian Paints is fascinating. You will see how this company creates value for its shareholders. Stock split is another term closer to the bonus shares. Actually, the purpose of both bonus shares and stock split is the same. In stock split, the face value of the share is reduced, but you get new shares. Suppose MRF decide to split the stock from 10 rupee to 1 rupee. It means your earlier 10 rupee share will get cancelled and you will get 10 shares of 1 rupee each. The MRF stock prices will now decline from 50,000 to 5,000. This improves liquidity. Remember, there is no change in your wealth. When the company issues the bonus shares or a stock split, it also communicates that it is doing well. This information content will have some positive effect on the stock prices.